This past Thanksgiving, my family and I gathered in Mississippi, where my dad is from, to celebrate the holidays. While we were there, we took pictures near this beautiful magnolia tree. My dad let us know that that tree had been planted some 50 years ago by his grandmother. So if you think about it, his grandmother was my great grandmother, and that is also my son's great great grandmother. So this tree was planted generations ago, and we get to enjoy the shade of that tree. We get to enjoy the beauty of that tree. And that reminded me of this book, Nells Plants a Tree. I am so excited about the chance to read this book to you today during Storytime with Mrs. Dixon.
Nells Plants a Tree. Written by Wynter and illustrated by Miyares. Before a grip on a branch and a fall to the ground and a scrape and a leap and a reach for the top. Before anyone finds out how high they can climb, Nells picks up a seed. Before a hush and a point at a nest filled with eggs, and a crack in a shell and a beak pipping through, before anyone watches 3 chicks hatching free, Nells buries a sprout. Before last place, as always, then 4th place, then 2nd, arms driving, toes gripping, hand stretched to the trunk. Before anyone wins for the very first time, Nells waters the soil. Before a too noisy den, a too squeaky chair, a too scratchy field, and a too muddy bank, before anyone finds the best spot to get lost, Nells lets in the sun. Before sacks of pecans and a crack and a crunch and a roll and a press and a mix and a pour, and a peek in the oven and a shoo from the kitchen, and a blue baking timer that finally dings, before anyone takes the first bite of warm pie, Nells digs a hole. Before treasures to find, like a long strip of bark and a shell and a stone and a leaf flecked with holes and a slender white root sprouting from a pecan. Before anyone asks what to do with a seed, Nells plants a tree that grows and grows and grows. The end.
And the other thing I wanted to just briefly read was the author's note for this book. Growing up in Houston, Texas, whenever I visited family members who lived outside the city, I'd marvel at the trees all around me. The only type of tree I could identify was a pecan tree, in part because it seemed like they were so common among our family members and friends. I remember racing and weaving through tree trunks with other kids, feeling jealous of a cousin who fearlessly climbed to the top branches and searching for a quiet, shady spot to crack open whichever book I'd brought along. Even though I appreciated the trees around me, I didn't give much thought to who planted them or when they were planted. But now I think about those questions more often. How long does it take for a tree to grow tall enough to climb, big enough to provide shade for dozens of kids, mature enough to produce delicious pecans? Recently, my family lost most of our trees to winter storms. As I write this, we're planting and growing new trees. I hope this book inspires you to do the same. A tree is a wonderful gift for yourself and an even greater gift for those who come after you. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story time with Mrs. Dixon. Until we read again, take care.